studying the Torah for a number of days, weeks, months, or years. Now that we've had a few feast day seasons perhaps under our belt, we're ready to go, right? We're ready to see the kingdom come. We're ready to see the end days fully manifested and see Yeshua appear, right? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with Timothy Torah, day number 4, the Torah portion, B'ha'alatecha, when you raise up. So let's go now to the end of chapter number 10 of Bamidbar, or Numbers, and begin reading with verse 33. And it says, So they set out from the mountain of Yahweh on a journey of 3 days. The ark of the covenant of Yahweh went before them for the 3 days' journey to seek out a resting place for them. And the cloud of Yahweh was above them by day when they went out from the camp. And it came to be whenever the ark set out that Moshe said, Rise up, O Yahweh, and let your enemies be scattered, and let those who hate you flee from before you. And when it rested, he said, Return, O Yahweh, to the countless thousands of Israel. Chapter 11, verse 1. And it came to be, when the people were as complainers, it was evil in the ears of Yahweh. And Yahweh heard it, and his displeasure burned. And the fire of Yahweh burned among them and consumed those in the outskirts of the camp. What in the world? Surely there was a great length of days between the end of chapter 10 and the beginning of chapter 11. Well, we just understand and know that chapter and verse segments were added much, much later by the Masoretic community. So that's not in the original text as it was originally written. There's no pause between. How much time in between those two sections, we're not told. But evidently, when the people set out on this 3 days journey, perhaps since we're given that time frame, 3 days, that the complaining began within the 3 days. That's a reasonable assumption. It's not definite, but certainly it should be considered, I think, in close proximity of time. So Israel has, up until this point, been at Mount Sinai, and they have been preparing or becoming prepared, being prepared for the resulting journey that was in front of them. They had heard the Torah taught. They had seen the manifestation of Yah's presence on the mountain. They had been eating miraculous bread every morning, going out and picking it up off of the ground. They were drinking water miraculously from the rock. The cloud has been providing shade at daytime and the warmth of a fire at night. They had seen the Levitical priesthood established and functioning. Offerings were being offered. Moshe was instructing in the Torah. Things seem to be moving quite a bit right along. The tabernacle is built. It's established. We're ready to go. We got it all together. Yah has aligned them, put them in their proper place within the camps, told them how to move. When you hear the trumpets, this is when you're to move and how you're to go and what your alignment is. They have been organized. So now that everything is in good form, good shape, good foundation, everything's been tested and proved, now is the time for the journey. The journey is said to take 3 days. It doesn't go well. One problem after the other begins to manifest and occur while they're in this short duration of a journey. Now, it ends up taking much longer. We understand it, some 40 years. But that was not the original intention. The question might then, are we as prepared for what is before us as we might think we are? Let's just be honest. We have terrified and traumatized generations behind us with our constant descriptions of impending doom, destruction, terror, and pursuit, and all this kind of stuff about how that the anti-Messiah kingdom or reign or governmental authority, however it manifests, whether it's a man or a system or a combination of the two, we have traumatized those generations behind us until they have just lost interest of anything, and it's given to them in many places, I'm going to live for the moment, and I don't know what to believe because none of what you've talked about has come to pass. We point to world circumstances and say, but see, they're doing this, and quote unquote, they're doing that. They, whoever they are. And they got their fingers in their ear with good reason, because it's just another current trend of doomsday reports, they would think. You and I understand and know the world is shaping up according to Scripture. Now, how long do we have? I don't know. I don't know that we have 6 months or 6 years or 60 years. We have whatever time Yah has predetermined and established. What we're called to is faithfulness in the duration. Now, we may think that the world is going to resolve to the ultimate end of things and bring about the coming of the kingdom in the next year or so. Maybe 7 years, if you're in a 7-year cycle of tribulation type thinking. Are we already in the tribulation? All of that aside, Israel here has grand expectations. We're coming to the kingdom. We're going to come to our inheritance. We're coming to the land. We're prepared. We're ready. Hoorah, let's go get it. And Yah, by his glory, reveals where their faults are. Consider. Yah says, rise up, O Yahweh, and let your enemies be scattered. Let those who hate you flee from before you. We imagine that group to include all of the Goyim, Gentile nations who would align against Israel. But there are those within Yah's own people who are going to work against him, and they're going to be revealed. Then it says, return, O Yahweh, to the countless thousands of Israel. Resolve this, O Yah. Bring us down to the number that you know belong to you. And so there is a revelation of those that say they're for him and that are not, and an affirming and concluding of those who are for him and are established as such. That process includes a season then where Yah's people complain about the issues, whatever the issues are. Know this, that Yah allows issues in our lives, fiery trials in our lives, circumstances to prove where our faith is, where our belief is, where our levels of obedience might be. Yah is testing us. He's testing those that are around us. The question is, are we going to pass the test? In the book of Mark, chapter number 10, it says in verse 35, and Yaakov and Yochanan, the sons of Zabdi, came to him, saying, Teacher, we wish that you would do for us whatever we ask. And he said to them, what do you wish for me to do for you? They said, grant us to be seated in your esteem, one on your right hand and the other on your left. Yeshua said to them, you do not know what you ask. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink and be immersed with the immersion that I am immersed with? And they said to him, we are able. Yeshua said to them, you shall indeed drink the cup that I drink, and with the immersion I am immersed with, you shall be immersed. But to sit on my right hand and my left is not mine to give, but is for those that it has been prepared. Don't know what you're asking for. We're asking and praying, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Do we know what we're asking for? Are we willing to pass the tests that are included in that process? Rise up, O Yah, and prove to us those that belong to you. Return, O Yah, and establish those that belong to you. May you rise up and may you be established. And we'll see you again tomorrow. To then, shalom.